There are 5 things you should never give people, even if they beg for them, even if it seems kind, even if refusing makes you feel guilty. The Stoics knew this truth 2,000 years ago. They understood something most modern men have forgotten. Some gifts aren't gifts at all. They're weapons. They're instruments of self-destruction disguised as generosity. And weak men give them away without even thinking about what they're surrendering. Strong men, grounded men, men of discipline, they guard these 5 things like treasure, because they understand that once you give them away, you lose something essential. You lose pieces of yourself that can't always be recovered. Let me break down what these 5 things are and why protecting them is the foundation of a powerful life. Thing 1. Your peace of mind. This is the most valuable thing you possess. Not your money, not your status, not your achievements. Your peace of mind, that internal stillness, that ability to sleep soundly, that freedom from chronic stress and anxiety. This is your most precious asset. Yet watch what happens. Someone comes to you with drama. They want you to worry with them. They need you to stress about their problems. They need you to lose sleep thinking about their chaos. And you think you're being a good friend. You think you're being compassionate. But you're not. You're committing slow-motion suicide. You're sacrificing your inner peace, the only peace you actually control, for someone who won't protect it. Let me be clear. There's a difference between listening to someone and carrying their burden. A strong man can listen without absorbing the emotional weight. He can offer support without becoming destabilized by someone else's crisis. But most men don't know this distinction. They confuse compassion with self-destruction. Marcus Aurelius understood something critical. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Think about that. You have absolute power over your mind. Your peace exists in your control, but the moment you allow someone else's chaos to invade that space, the moment you let their problems colonize your mental real estate, you've surrendered your power. A person drowning doesn't help another person drowning. They both drown. If you let someone else's chaos pull you under, you become useless to everyone, including them. A strong man listens with compassion. He offers perspective. He gives what he can, but he protects his inner peace like a warrior protects his castle. Because from that fortress of peace, you can actually help people. From that stable ground, you can offer real wisdom, but from a place of your own chaos, you offer nothing but infected energy. Thing 2. Your time to prove yourself. People will ask you to explain yourself. They'll demand justification. They'll want you to defend who you are, what you've done, why you made the choices you made. And because you're a good man who respects truth, you'll feel compelled to answer. You'll spend hours trying to convince someone who's already decided to misunderstand you. You'll exhaust yourself trying to win approval from someone who's determined not to give it. And here's what you need to understand. You don't owe this to anyone. Epictetus taught something radical. He said if someone speaks badly of you, first examine whether what they say is true. If it is, correct it yourself, not for them, but for your own integrity. If it isn't true, laugh. Don't spend emotional energy defending yourself against lies. Your worth isn't up for debate. Your character isn't on trial in front of people who don't understand you. A disciplined man knows that the right people of discernment, people of character, they'll see you, they'll understand you. The wrong people, they wouldn't believe you even if you spent 1,000 hours explaining. This is one of the deepest wastes of masculine energy. Men spending their days trying to convince people who've already made up their minds, trying to win over critics who have no interest in understanding, trying to prove themselves to people whose opinions shouldn't matter. Stop. This is the trap. You give away your time, your peace, your dignity, in service of trying to change someone's mind who has no intention of changing it. A strong man doesn't spend his time proving himself to the wrong audience. He spends it building something meaningful for the right one. Thing 3. Your self-respect for acceptance. This one cuts deep, because the desire to be accepted, to belong, to be liked, it's wired into us. It's human. But when that desire becomes stronger than your self-respect, you're in trouble. You want to be liked, so you bend. You shrink yourself. You hide the real you because you're afraid the real you won't be accepted. So you present a smaller, safer, more palatable version, and sometimes it works. Sometimes they accept this fake version of you. But here's the problem. It's not really you they're accepting. It's the hollow shell, the diminished version. The real you, the strong version, the authentic version that remains unseen and unloved. Seneca wrote something that should be tattooed on every man's chest. He said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." You're rich when you respect yourself enough to be whole, even if you're alone. You're poor when you trade your self-respect for acceptance from people who don't even matter. A strong man would rather be alone and whole than accepted and hollow. He would rather be genuinely known by a few good people than superficially liked by many empty ones. Think about what you're teaching people when you shrink yourself for their approval. You're teaching them that they're worth more than you. You're teaching them that their comfort matters more than your integrity. You're teaching them that you're available for whatever compromise serves them. And then you wonder why they don't respect you, why they use you, why they never see you as valuable. It's because you demonstrated that you don't see yourself as valuable. Never give up who you are for people who don't even know who they are. Never sacrifice your self-respect for the temporary warmth of acceptance from people who don't deserve access to your real self. Thing 4. Your forgiveness too easily. Forgiveness is powerful. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius was a master of forgiveness. But here's what modern culture gets wrong. Forgiveness is not weakness. Forgiveness is not automatic. Forgiveness is not the same as erasing what someone did. Someone wrongs you, they say sorry, and you're supposed to just forget, to immediately restore trust, to act like it never happened. No, that's not forgiveness. That's naive. That's how you get hurt again. Real forgiveness is a strategic decision. It's something you do for your own peace, not to make someone else comfortable. Forgiveness is saying, what you did doesn't have power over my peace anymore. I'm choosing to let it go, not for you, but for me. But here's the part everyone misses. Forgiveness without consequences is permission. It tells them, you can do this again. There are no real costs to wronging me. And they will do it again. Human nature responds to incentives. If betraying you costs them nothing, they'll betray you again. Marcus Aurelius forgave, but he didn't forget. He forgave for his own inner peace, but he protected himself. A disciplined mind forgives to free itself from resentment. Resentment is a poison you drink hoping the other person gets sick. But a disciplined mind also learns. It sets boundaries. It protects itself from repeated harm. Real forgiveness is earned, not demanded. Someone wrongs you, they must demonstrate change. They must prove through consistent action that they understand what they did and are committed to not doing it again. Until then, your trust is not theirs. Your openness is not theirs. Forgive quickly for your own peace, but trust slowly. Always slowly. Thing 5. Your loyalty to people who don't deserve it. This one is the hardest because loyalty feels noble. Loyalty feels like honor. It feels like the mark of a good man. But loyalty to the wrong person, that's not honor. That's self-destruction dressed up as a virtue. The Stoics were loyal, but they were loyal to virtue, not to people who betrayed it. They were loyal to principles, not to people who violated principles. Think about who you're loyal to. Are they people who've earned your loyalty through their character and consistency? Or are they people who expect it simply because they've been in your life? You don't owe loyalty to liars. You don't owe loyalty to users. You don't owe loyalty to people who only show up when they need something. You don't owe loyalty to people who leave when the cost gets high. A strong man is loyal to those who've earned it through demonstrated character. A strong man gives his loyalty to people who reciprocate it, people who show up for him, people who have his back, people who've proven through consistent action that they deserve access to his trust and his presence. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see men make. They're loyal to people who don't deserve it. They stay in relationships, friendships, professional relationships, family dynamics, where the other person is extracting value without reciprocating it. They sacrifice their own well-being for people who wouldn't sacrifice anything for them. And they call it loyalty. They call it love. They call it honor. No, that's weakness. That's the failure to recognize your own value. Cut the dead weight. Protect your energy. Your loyalty is sacred. Your presence is valuable. Stop giving these things to people who treat them like garbage. The deeper principle. What ties all 5 of these together is something fundamental. These aren't just 5 random things. They're the core pillars of a man's power. Your peace, your time, your self-respect, your forgiveness, your loyalty. These are the foundation of your entire life. Every decision you make, every relationship you build, every moment of peace you experience, it all flows from how well you protect these 5 things. The Stoics understood that a man's power comes from what he refuses to give away, not from what he accumulates. In a culture that constantly demands you give more, share more, be more available, be more forgiving, be more accommodating, the act of refusing becomes revolutionary. The act of protecting your peace becomes radical. The act of demanding reciprocity becomes controversial. But that's exactly what strong men do. That's what disciplined men understand. Your inner world is yours. Your energy is yours. Your presence is yours. And you're not obligated to distribute these things to anyone who asks. This doesn't make you selfish. This makes you wise. A man who protects his peace can actually help people. A man who respects himself can actually inspire others. A man who gives loyalty selectively can actually build meaningful relationships. A man who forgives strategically can actually free himself from resentment. A man who doesn't prove himself constantly can actually develop genuine self-respect. The Stoics guarded their inner world like warriors. They understood that your mind, your peace, your time, these are the territory you must defend. Not with aggression, not with coldness, but with clear boundaries, with conscious choice, with discipline. That's the path to real power. That's the path to a life where you're not constantly depleted, not constantly manipulated, not constantly diminished by people who don't respect what you're offering them. Go forward. Protect what's yours. Guard your peace like it's the most valuable thing you have. Because it is. Don't give your time to people who don't deserve understanding. Don't shrink yourself for acceptance that requires self-betrayal. Don't forgive too easily, and don't give loyalty to people who haven't earned it. This isn't cruelty. This is wisdom. This is strength. This is how you build a life of actual power.